There is a secret that the universe has been trying to reveal to you since the moment you were born. It is so simple that it will surprise you, and at the same time so profound that it will completely change the way you see your reality. Some people seem to attract everything they desire effortlessly, while others constantly struggle to fulfill their dreams. If you are watching this video, there are chances that you are one of those who struggle, but do not worry because that is about to change. The key is not in what these lucky people do, but in something much more fundamental. The way they relate to the universe itself. You will see there is a specific frequency, a state of being, that when you reach it, causes the universe to not only respond to your desires, but literally lay everything at your feet. It sounds too good to be true. I know, however, the reality is that this power is not something that you should achieve or attain. It is something that you already possess. The problem is that we have been so conditioned by limiting beliefs and erroneous thought patterns that we have lost connection with this innate ability. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly how to reconnect with this power. We are not talking about complicated techniques or elaborate rituals. What I am about to share with you is an understanding so deep and transformative that once you integrate it, manifestation will stop being something you do and it will become something that you are. The most fascinating thing is that this knowledge is not new. It has been present in the oldest teachings of humanity. The difference is that today, right now, we are going to strip it of all the mystery and unnecessary complexity to get to its pure essence. Get ready to go beyond the limitations you have been carrying, beyond the beliefs that have been blocking your true potential. It is time to your true nature as a conscious creator of your reality. The true power of manifestation is something that most people look in the wrong place. We are constantly told that we need specific techniques, elaborate rituals, or secret formulas to manifest our desires. However, the truth is much deeper, and at the same time more than you imagine. When you look around, you will notice that you are already constantly manifesting every aspect of your current life. It is the direct result of your manifestation, power in action. The difference between manifesting consciously and simply letting things happen lies in a fundamental understanding your relationship with the power. Pay attention now. Imagine the power of the season. Like the air you breathe, it is always present, sustaining you, feeding you, but you are rarely aware of it. In the same way, your power of manifestation operates continuously, creating your reality moment to moment, regardless of whether you are aware of it or not. The problem arises when we try to control this power from our limited mind, from our ego. It is like trying to control the ocean. The more we fight to master it, the more we resist its natural flow. True power does not lie in control, but in alignment. What very few understand is that manifestation is not something we do, but something we are. It is our essential nature. When we understand this deeply, we stop looking for techniques and begin to recognize our true identity as creative beings. However, there are deeply rooted beliefs that prevent us from fully recognizing and expressing this power. These beliefs act as filters, distorting our natural ability to manifest, creating an illusory gap between us and our desires. They are so subtle and so normalized that we rarely question them, and therein lies their limiting power. Therefore, we must be able to identify and transcend these limiting beliefs that have been acting as a veil between you and your power innate. Because once you recognize them, you will be able to clearly see how they have been influencing every aspect of your reality. And more importantly, you will be able to break free from their restrictive influence. The first belief we need to address is one that is probably very familiar to you. It is that constant voice in your mind that asks, "Am I doing it right?" It is a seemingly innocent question, but it hides a subtle and powerful trap that sabotages your natural ability to manifest when you constantly ask yourself if you are doing it right. You are operating from a place of doubt and mistrust. It is as if you are asking the universe for permission to create your reality. But here is the revolutionary truth. There is no right way to manifest. The very idea that there is a right or wrong technique is an illusion that keeps us trapped in a cycle of endless external searching. Think about it. The universe does not judge whether you are doing the affirmations correctly, whether your visualization is vivid enough or your meditation is deep enough. The universe responds to your state of being, to your inner conviction. The technique you use is simply a vehicle to reach that state when you seek external validation as to whether you are doing it right unconsciously. You are giving your power away to something or someone outside from you. It is like having a flashlight, searching for light in the darkness, not realizing that you are the source of the light you seek. True manifestation arises from the inner conviction of that deep knowing that you are one with the creative power of the universe. The solution is not to find the perfect technique, but to recognize that any method you use with absolute conviction will work. It is your conviction, your inner certainty, that activates the power of manifestation, not the technique itself. When you operate from this understanding, the question, "Am I doing right?" naturally dissolves, because you know that your power is not dependent on doing things in a specific way, but on your state of being. The second belief that limits your power of manifestation is the distinction between large and small manifestations. This categorization, although it seems natural, creates an invisible barrier between you and your deepest desires. It is a mental trap that the ego has created to maintain control over your reality. When you label something as a large manifestation, you instantly create distance between you and that desire. It is as if you put your desire on a pedestal, making it seem more difficult or complex than it really is. On the other hand, when you consider something as a small manifestation, you are unconsciously minimizing your creative power. The universe does not recognize this distinction for the infinite intelligence that orchestrates entire galaxies. There is no difference between manifesting a cup of coffee and manifesting your biggest dream. It is your mind that creates these categories, and in doing so, it fragments your power into different levels of difficulty that do not really exist. Observe how you constantly manifest things that you consider small without any effort. The ease with which these manifestations occur is not due to their size, but to the absence of mental resistance towards them. You have not categorized them as difficult or large. Therefore, they flow naturally into your experience. The key is to recognize that your power of manifestation is one and only indivisible. It does not need to be adjusted or amplified for larger manifestations. It is the same power that is already operating in every aspect of your life. When you eliminate these mental categories, you allow your power to flow unrestricted, regardless of the apparent magnitude of what you wish to manifest. If you really understood what I just told you, I will ask you to comment. There are no big dreams. And now I will explain why this is important. We all have a dream that we would like to achieve something that in some way gives meaning to our life, or will give it to it when we achieve it. But precisely because it is so important to us, we fall into the error of thinking that this dream will need time and effort to be fulfilled. This is false in the eyes of the universe. There are no big or small things. Things are what you decide. They are a dream. Is just that, a dream, and fulfilling it should be as easy as breathing. So when you feel that your mind limits, you remember this phrase. The third and perhaps most powerful limiting belief is the idea that things are going wrong. This belief is activated especially when we face resistance or when reality seems to move in the opposite direction to our desires. However, this interpretation arises from a fundamental misunderstanding about how the universe operates. When we believe that something is going wrong unconsciously, we are buying the idea that there are two powers in the universe, one that works in our favor and another against us. This duality is an illusion that fragments our experience and disconnects us from our true power. In reality, there is only one universal power, and it is always operating through you. Whether it does it for or against is pure perception. What we interpret as going wrong is simply the universe rearranging to manifest our desires in the most efficient way possible. It is like when the GPS recalculates the route. Although it seems that it is not going well, moving away from our destiny, every turn it is a necessary part of the journey. The universe operates in a similar way, creating apparent detours that are actually the most direct path to our manifestation. The resistance we experience is not a sign that something is failing, but an invitation to keep our frequency high. Even when appearances suggest otherwise, it is in these moments that our true mastery is revealed. When we can maintain our conviction in the midst of seeming adversity, we demonstrate our understanding that all is perfectly aligned. The truth is that there is no such thing as going wrong in the universe. Every experience, every obstacle, every moment of doubt, it is an integral part of the manifestation process. When you integrate this understanding, you free yourself from the need to judge the process and can keep your frequency aligned with your desire, regardless of outer appearances. Jacob Grinberg proposed a revolutionary theory that described reality as an infinitely interconnected neural matrix, where consciousness and matter are different aspects of the same fundamental web. This matrix, that Grinberg called lattice, is not unlike what mystics have called the field of all possibilities. It is a space where your thoughts, emotions, and state of being interact directly with the fabric of the reality. Every time you hold a thought, every time you hold an emotion, you are literally communicating with this universal matrix. The extraordinary thing is that this communication is not one way. Just as your thoughts influence the matrix responds, reorganizing to reflect your internal state. It is like a cosmic mirror that faithfully reflects your vibrational frequency. This understanding takes us beyond the superficial manifestation patterns to a deeper understanding of our true nature. As creative beings, the matrix of reality does not distinguish between limiting and expansive beliefs. It simply responds to the frequency that we consistently hold. That is why it is so crucial to release these false beliefs that we have discussed, because every shift in our consciousness creates waves of transformation in this universal network of infinite possibilities. The true path of the Master begins when we understand that manifestation is not something we do occasionally, but a constant state of being. It is a journey of transformation where every moment becomes an opportunity to raise our vibrational frequency and align ourselves with our innate power. The frequency of being is the starting point of all manifestation. It is not something that we must reach or achieve, but something that we already are in our purest essence, when we allow ourselves to exist. In this natural state of high vibration, the universe responds automatically. It's like a perfectly tuned musical instrument. It doesn't need to strain to produce the right note. It just vibrates in perfect harmony with its nature. This frequency is maintained through a state of conscious presence. Most people live in a constant state of resistance, fighting what is, longing for what is not, or fearing what could be. But the Master understands that real power lies in the present moment. It's here in the now, where all the magic of manifestation occurs. When you remain centered in your power, regardless of external circumstances, you create a field of infinite possibilities around you. Conscious presence is not a passive state, but a dynamic way of relating to reality. It's keeping your frequency high. Even when appearances suggest otherwise, it's like a lighthouse in the middle of the storm. It doesn't fight the waves. It simply keeps its light shining constantly, guiding the way. This is true mastery. The ability to keep your inner light shining, even though the world outside may fall apart. As we delve deeper into this state of being, we begin to experience the alchemy of transformation. Situations that once challenged us become opportunities to demonstrate our power. Limiting beliefs that once contained us become stepping stones to new possibilities. It's as if the universe is conspiring to show us new facets of our infinite power. This alchemy occurs naturally when we consistently maintain a high frequency. It requires no effort or struggle, but a deep state of allowing. It is a process of transmutation where everything that touches your higher consciousness is transformed. Doubts become certainty, fear into power, resistance into flow. The path of the Master is a path of elegance and simplicity, where effort is replaced by grace and struggle by natural flow. True mastery is revealed in the simplicity with which we navigate life. We do not need complicated techniques or elaborate rituals. We only need to keep our frequency aligned with our true nature. When we live from this space of conscious power, manifestation becomes our natural way of being, as natural as breathing. Every thought, every emotion, every state of being becomes an expression of our creative power, is a constant with the universe, where every step is perfectly choreographed by the infinite intelligence that operates through us. Now that you understand the deep nature of your manifesting power, it is time to integrate this knowledge into a practical method that you can immediately apply. This method, it is not just another technique, but a natural process that emerges from your expanded understanding. It begins each morning by recognizing your natural state of power. You do not need elaborate affirmations or complex visualizations. Simply sit quietly for a few moments and allow your consciousness to expand into that space where you are already one with your creative power. It is like awakening to your true nature each morning as you go through your day. Keep your attention on your state of being rather than on the external circumstances. When situations arise that seem to contradict your desires, remember that they are simply invitations to keep your frequency elevated. Do not fight what appears. Instead, allow it while maintaining your inner alignment. The key to this method is consistency in your vibrational frequency. Every time you notice your emotional state fluctuating, take a moment to reconnect with your innate power. There is no need to change or fix anything. Simply return to that space of inner certainty, where you know that you are one with the creative power of the universe. At night, before you sleep, allow your consciousness to expand into the infinite field of possibilities. It is not strictly necessary to visualize specific outcomes. Instead, feel the reality of your desire as if it were already manifested. This is the natural state of being, where manifestation occurs effortlessly. This supreme method of manifestation is actually a non-method. It is a return to your natural state of being, where manifestation occurs spontaneously as a result of your sustained frequency. It is simple, elegant, and profoundly powerful because it emerges from your true nature as a creator being. This is only the beginning of your true awakening. All that you have learned today is not new knowledge. I have only reminded you of what your soul has always known. You are an infinitely powerful being who had temporarily forgotten its true nature. The universe is not waiting for you to become good enough to find the perfect technique or reach a certain level of spiritual development. The universe is waiting for you to simply remember who you really are at this very moment. All the power of the cosmos is flowing through you, waiting to be acknowledged and expressed. The limitations that once seemed so solid dissolve in the light of this understanding. You no longer need to seek external validation or doubt. Your ability to manifest your power is not dependent on circumstances, the opinions of others, or the seeming limitations of the physical world. Your power is absolute, for you are one with the source of all power. From this moment on, allow each breath to be an affirmation of your true nature, and to be your true nature. Let every step you take be an expression of your infinite power. The universe is putting everything at your feet, not because you have earned it or deserved it, but because that is your natural inheritance as a divine being manifested in human form. If you got this far, receive, as always, a big hug on behalf of the entire team. It goes without saying that it is an honor for us to continue counting on your company. See you soon. Stay awake.